Good morning and welcome to the Haven Financial Group radio show. I'm Larry Colvig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group. Thanks for listening this morning. Feel free to give us a call at 612-504-8400 or visit us online at havenfinancialgroup.com. Kim, good to be with you. We have classes this past week and upcoming classes that I encourage listeners to come out. We're big into the education piece, and we got a lot to talk about today.
Yes, we do. Yeah. And we want to tell everybody about those classes. If you're interested in attending one of those classes, you can do so by going to havenfinancialgroup.com. They're listed there, the times and the locations. They are free and they're open to anyone, even if you're not a client of Haven Financial. But you do need to sign up because they certainly fill up quickly, right, Larry?
They really do. Obviously, people are looking for education. We're big into it. There's no catch. From these classes, people can come in and visit with us in any of these retirement topics. You know, we teach the truth about annuities class. We teach investment classes, Medicare Made Simple, Social Security and tax classes, all of these relative to retirement, the retirement puzzle pieces that you and I talk about each and every week and trying to make the best educated decisions that we possibly can.
You bet. Hey, today we got a great show, like you mentioned. We're going to be talking about the important financial tips for retirees. Talk about education. This is a great educational session that we're going to have for the next hour. We're going to start with leftover 529. Here's what you can do with that. A lot of people sometimes have that. Structure your finances to weather market turbulence. Boy, we're seeing a lot of that, aren't we, here of late? So this is a segment that'll be very relevant for a lot of people. Insurance can play a role in a fixed income retirement. Glenn Ramey, who is an insurance expert, is going to join us for that segment. And finally, budget strategies to address inflation today. So great show. We want to start off, as we said here, talking a little bit about some of that leftover 529 money and what you might do with that. This is something that I think happens to a lot of people, and they're not sure how they can actually incorporate that into their budgets.
Well, yeah, 529 plans, leftover 529. I wished I knew what that was all about, but with, of course, 4 daughters that are in 4 different colleges, I don't have any leftovers. But for those that do, there's options. And for those wondering what colleges, I have a daughter at med school in North Carolina, a freshman at the University of Kansas, one at Bethel College that'll graduate, and her identical twin at Mount Mercy, which will graduate this spring. So we know a lot about college and the Colvig household. Let's just put it that way. But if you have leftovers, there are options on the table that we should certainly entertain. Roll it over to maybe another family member that is eligible. That is certainly an option. Rolling it into a Roth IRA. Many people don't realize that you can do that. And starting last year, you can roll up to $35,000 into a Roth IRA. And just make sure beneficiaries are current on these. So there's certainly options that are on the table.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are very concerned that you got to spend every dime of that or you're not going to be able to access it. But as we're learning here, that's not necessarily the truth. Let me just step back for just a second. Roll over to Roth IRA, $35,000. Has that gone up in the last couple of years?
Well, you weren't eligible to do it up until last year when it just went into law. Yeah, if you don't have the need for the 529, you can withdraw it for non-qualified expenses as well. Mm-hmm. Just know that there won't be the tax benefits that go with it. It'll be taxable income. Mm-hmm. So always talk through the tax implications, which at Haven Financial Group, we're very big into these discussions. Lance is our in-house CPA. Tax planning should be more relative in retirement than ever, and it's so often unnoticed, and people get surprised or they got a big bill at the end of the year. And it's amazing to me how a lot of people are not having tax planning discussions.
Right.
And I can't stress it enough. And we don't charge extra for that. That's part of our ongoing conversations that we have. Lance would agree that throughout the year, it's tax planning, which leads to successful tax preparation. So in any of these conversations, it's important to know what are the tax ramifications, positive or negative, and address them head on.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you have leftover $529, that's what we're talking about. And certainly as you plan for what to do with those dollars, taxes would be something you'd want to keep in mind. Can those dollars be used? Let's say, one child ends up not using all of it. Can you use them for K through 12, maybe private schools, religious schools, that kind of thing?
Yeah, you can. Up to 10 grand annually can be used for that, for K through 12, religious schools, parochial schools, whatever that might look like. Or it can even cover apprenticeship costs if that's what you're looking to get into, the trades. If it can repay student loans.
Okay.
There's a maximum of 10 grand on that. So looking at all the options, and make sure you understand there's different tax implications in different states. So just pay attention. Make sure you check out the different tax implications in various states. And of course, we're in Minnesota, which is a high tax state, but other states have other issues as well.
Absolutely. Are there deadlines on this?
There's really not deadlines,
Okay.
not like there is when it comes to taxes, but you just want to consider the implications. Things don't always go the way we think they're going to go. There's unexpected times. I always say life doesn't cooperate with our calendar. Life is not a textbook. So make sure you understand all the penalties that could go with this, the implications, and just having a plan. You and I talk every single week. A failure to plan is a plan to fail, not because people are trying to fail. They just don't maybe take things as seriously as they maybe should. They don't have a good partner that they can lean on. They don't know what questions to ask. Mm-hmm. And, retirement can get fairly complicated. Our job description, I say, is to simplify the process and make sure people are comfortable to know that we're their partner that they can ask. It's just, we want to be available, and most people just are not getting the attention they deserve.
Larry, do you find, a lot of people open their 529s when their children are born? Do you find that people continually stay on top of where those dollars are invested and how that, all works throughout that, 18, 20 years?
No, I find that there's a lot of not paying attention, that they park it there with good intentions on, okay, I want this for the kids, I want it for the grandkids. And we have clients that put away for the grandkids into these 529s, but oftentimes they're not paying attention to what types of investments, paying attention to the element of time. What's the time horizon? Is it 5 years? Is it 18 years? Is it 20 years? Because that should really play a part on when are these funds going to be needed and how they're invested.
Sure, absolutely. My final question about this, how frequently do we see changes when it comes to 529 plans and the legislature? I mean, are they changing them constantly, or are they pretty consistent over the last decade or so?
Well, there's change. I don't think there's any radical big changes, but regular, if you should consult with your advisor or whoever you're working with to make sure that you're up to date on these changes. But I wouldn't say there's big changes. But you should be aware of any minor changes. I haven't seen, in the last 10 years, I can't think of anything that's been any major.
Except maybe that $35,000 to be able to roll over into a Roth IRA?
That was a big one. That is a big one. And the more money you can get into a Roth, the better. Of course, I always say we like HSA health savings accounts actually even more than Roths. But, any money you can get into HSAs or into Roths, the better you are in the future. Would
you say, as a dad and as certainly an expert in this investment field, are 529s the way to go?
They are. I also like the use of Roth IRAs for kids as well. There's also UTMA accounts or UGMA accounts, and you just got to pay attention to the restrictions and the availability of the funds. How do you access it? But yeah, 529s are a great thing to do for saving. Again, we offer them through Charles Schwab and Fidelity Investments here at Haven Financial Group, which is who we partner with on our trading platforms, the team and I. So yeah, they're very effective. They can be very effective.
All right, terrific. Well, hopefully some of the folks who are listening right now, this rings a bell with you. Maybe you're wondering about setting up a 529. Maybe you have a 529 and the children have decided to go in a different direction. You've got some left over. You're not sure what you're going to do with that. Give Haven Financial Group a call. It's 612-504-8400, 612-504-8400. And of course, while you're chatting with them there, set up an appointment, come in and talk a little bit more about more of the retirement issues that we talk about here. And we're going to speak about more today today, including structuring your finances to weather market turbulence. We have seen a lot of turbulence, of course, in this first couple of months of a new administration, which is not unusual. But you have to weather those storms. And so we're going to talk more about how you can do so in an effective way when we come back right here on the Haven Financial Group radio show.